Welcome aboard. It's your host, TCG Pirate King, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the wonderful little cardboard trinkets that came in the mail over the last week. Yes, we do not have any One Piece cards yet, but stay tuned. We will be doing that once they are available into the States. But for now, we do have Magic the Gathering, some from Dominaria United, even the new set that has just come out. Stay tuned to the end, and maybe some of the cards on my list that have come in are escaping your vaults. So the first card I want to talk to you guys about today is called Earthquake Dragon. It is a 14 and a green for a creature elemental dragon. It's a 10/10. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control. Now, if we were to compare this to other dragons in the format, including the Ancient Copper Dragons, or any of the Ancient Dragons really, Dragon, all these big mana dragon spells, at least one of the dragons on your field before you cast this is going to be 6 to 8 mana, which is going to knock this down quite significantly in the first place. You have 2 dragons on the field, this thing is probably going to come out for 3 mana, and it is a 10/10 with Blample. You heard that correctly. It is a flying trampler. It has also an activated ability of 2 and a green, so it is a mana activation, as well as sacrifice a land. Return Earthquake Dragon from your graveyard to your hand. You play this in the right deck, in the right synergy. You play this with World of Crucibles. You're not even going to care that you sacrifice that land. You play this in Land Matters, like you do this in Landfall, you're going to have a good day. You play this in Dragons, you're going to have a good day. You play this in green, you're probably going to have you're going to have a bad day. You want dragons in your deck for sure to make this, but you play this in the right deck. You do. And I want to make sure that you guys are picking up your copy while you can. Recently, the card has been spiking in price a little bit. It's going up. It's trending. It's popular. People are buying it. It is from a unpopular set, Baldur's Gate Commander Legends 2. I recommend picking it up while it is as low as it is. You can get one in regular copy. You can get one in extended art. I do kind of recommend the extended art. I know it's just removing the borders and it's a filter. It's dumb. But the cool thing is that you get that magical scope of the wings, which is just absolutely wonderful. I love seeing how massive this thing is when it hits the battlefield. It really it creates a sense of, ooh, like it slaps. It does. And I think that's what I want to walk away with this is that the Quake slaps. Moving on, another card that is seeming to be more and more forgotten because it's from a set that nobody really liked and nobody really wants to remember. Streets of New Capenna. I think there's a lot of really cool utility pieces in this set, and I think more and more people need to start taking a look at it before it starts being noticed by big buyers. This is a card, Void Rend. It costs Esper. That is, as a reminder, white, blue, and black. It is at instant speed and says this spell can't be countered. So kind of not as good as Split Second. That took me a second. Not as good as Split Second. However, this spell can't be countered. So instead of ending the step right there, you're at least preventing your opponent from stopping this cast. You're going to get it off. Destroy target non-land permanent. Now, you could play this in 5-color. You could play this in 4-color, and I actually recommend that you do play it in your 4-color decks that require these 3 for Commander. But if you're playing 3-color Commander, and you're playing Esper, and Esper's a very nice control format, this is the exact kind of card that Esper wants. Doesn't necessarily need, but it's always wanted. So I recommend picking a copy up while it is on the cheaper end of things. It's kind of a budget-friendly card, but it's not going to stay budget-friendly. Pick it up while you can. It will be a wonderful addition to all of your decks. Next on our list is a surprisingly also cheap card. I can't imagine it staying inexpensive, however, because of all the legendary support we keep getting. This is Roboran Mercenaries. Is 3 and a white for a 3/4 creature human mercenary with vigilance. Roboran Mercenaries has all activated abilities of all legendary creatures you control. Now, the key word here is that it is legendary creatures, so you're going to want to, of course, play this in your legendary themed decks. However, with that being a very powerful and increasingly playable deck strategy, this is the kind of card that can fit into so many different deck builds. Reminder, it's 3 and a white, not 2 and 2 white, or even worse, 1 and 3 white. This card fits in any deck that is using white. If you're using a 3-color deck, let's say you were using Esper, for example. Now, this is just a random one. It had nothing to do with the previous card. But let's say you were using Esper, for example, like Verena Lich Queen. Verena Lich Queen is an Esper commander who allows you to dive into zombie tribalism. Now, there's a lot of really cool legendary zombies. So you play these legendary zombies, you put them on the field, and you play mostly black and blue. You don't have a lot of white in the deck. However, because you're able to go into white, you can play Roboran Mercenaries here because you have that access color. It's on the field, it's copying all your abilities, all of your activated abilities for sure. You're copying your Scorpion God. This is absolutely gravy. I love this card. I would recommend picking up a copy while you can. Even the extended art here is only about 70 cents or so when I got it. I'm going to take a look here and see what the actual price is, and I'll post it up on the screen. I want to take a look here at some other cards, but don't forget this one as we move on. This is the kind of card that can really come in handy in a lot of different deck builds. Next card on this list that we're going to take a look at is Baru Wormspeaker. Now, the reason why I picked this card up is because my wife absolutely loves worms. She has been wanting to play a worm deck for a while, and this is her way to do so now. So Baru Wormspeaker says worms you control get +2/+2 and have trample. Now, most worms already do have trample, but where this comes in handy is for those few that don't, and of course, tokens. Tokens don't always have keywords, they just are. So, this guy is 2 and 2 green for a 3/3 legendary creature human druid. This guy is the commander. His activated ability is 7 and green, tap, create a 4/4 green worm creature token. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the greatest power among worms you control. Now, the wonderful thing about this is that you're going to pay that 8 one time only, unless, of course, you have other worms before you pay it in the first place. But that 8 you're going to pay, you're going to tap, you're going to put that 4/4 on the field. It's a worm, it's going to get +2/+2, and it's going to have trample. So it's now a 6/6, bringing the next time you activate Baru Wormspeaker's ability from 8 down to class. Can I hear the subtraction? It's 2. That's correct. So it's going to be 2 now to tap this ability to do it again. So we're going to want to play cards that allow this card to untap and do its effect over and over and over. So Staff of Domination, amongst others. That being said, any worms you play with this will decrease it even faster. And if you were to play anything that is a 7 or higher attack strength, heck, if you were to play any worm that was a 5 or higher in strength, then this would end up costing you a total of 1 green. That's it, just 1 mana, green, that's it. Green, tap, and make. Enjoy. Next, I'm going to show 2 cards at the same time. I was able to pick up a couple of really nice copies of the textured foil stained glass for Rata Drabik of Urborg and Rivaz of the Claw. These cards were picked up because for my zombie deck, which you may actually have noticed I was earlier speaking about Verena. Well, funny enough, I do play a Verena zombie deck. And I wanted Rata Drabik of Urborg to be in that deck as a specialty little presentation. All other zombies you control have vigilance. I love that. I love it. Verena wants you to attack with all of your zombies a lot for draw and health and life gain. So giving them vigilance is just letting them stay blockers? Yes. It has ward 2 on itself as well as vigilance for itself. It is 2 and white-black, 2 and Orzhov for a 3/3 legendary creature zombie wizard. So this can be your commander if you want to do white-black. Whenever another legendary creature you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary, and it's a 2/2 black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. You can have a lot of fun with this, and one way that I like to do with this ability right now is I like to use Bontu, the Eternal God. Oh my! You sacrifice a few creatures and you get that effect out. Then later on, you can sacrifice Bontu and get a clone of it out to get the sacrifice again, so that you can draw more cards and attack with more things. And it's just wonderful synergy. I love all the value in life gain and draw from that. Anyway, moving on. Ravaz of the Claw, I picked up because eventually me and the wife are going to be building our own dragon decks. She's looking into 5-color dragon. I'm looking into 3-color dragon. I do like Miram, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to go that route. I'm still looking around. Dragon's pretty far down my list, but I know that when I get there, I'm going to want certain pieces for it. So I picked up a copy of Ravaz of the Claw for myself, because if I decide that black and red are going to be in those colors, well, then I'm probably going to want to have Ravaz, and I recommend if you have that, you do the same. He is a legendary creature. He is a Vashino Warlock. He costs 1 and Rakdos for a 3/3 body with Menace. Now, for that alone, you could technically play him as the commander, and you could have a lot of fun with Rakdos Dragon Tribal. He's not a dragon himself, but he does come with his own little care package for the followings. He says, tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors, spend this mana only to cast dragon creature spells. If you were playing Rakdos Dragon Tribal, you could have this tap for 2 red, 2 black, or Rakdos. If you were playing 5-color, I don't even want to do that math, but you can. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. What do you mean this guy has more? Whenever you cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard, it gains when this creature dies exiled. So okay, it only comes back once, but I thought it was great when it was a mana dork. You mean to tell me that this guy comes with resurrection for dragons? Correct me if I'm wrong, but like half the things in Dragon Tribal is, sacrifice my dragon so that when it dies its effect triggers, and then bring it back so that when it enters the battlefield, it triggers that other ability that says deal damage because it entered the battlefield, and then sacrifice it. I did both twice. Yay. Like, what the hell, man? Do it! This is a good card. I highly recommend picking it up. Next on this list, we're going to be talking about Rith, Liberated Primeval. Legend creature dragon for 2 and Naya for a 5/5 flying ward 2. Now, I like this card just as is. Honestly, don't need anything else, don't need to read anything else. I'd probably play a 2 Naya 5/5 flyer ward 2. I would put this in my 99 of a Naya 4 or 5 color deck. No problem. Other dragons you control have ward 2. Do you have any idea how easy that is to forget? They go to cast a spell to target Rith, to destroy it. Let's say they had 4 mana out and they're trying to cast Murder. They only have 1 left over. They need 2. This card is amazing. They don't even have to target Rith because board 2 for all your dragons. And finally on this list, we're going to take a look at a special card that nobody cares about, even though they should, because it's Snapcaster Mage. Keldon Flame Sage. It is 2 and a red for a... They found me. Sorry, if you can hear that, there's a plane going overhead. We're going to go ahead and cut. That's right, I held that position long enough to sync up the cut as best as I could. This is Keldon Flame Sage, 2 and a red for a 2/3 creature human shaman. Play this in your human deck, play it in your shaman deck. I really don't care. But what you should do is play it for Enlist. You can... Here's what you do.
You make sure the commander has a strong attack power so that when you go to enlist with Keldon Flamesage, you always have a powerful level of power on the field. So it says, whenever Keldon Flamesage attacks, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the Keldon Flamesage's power. You may exile an instant or sorcery spell with mana value of X or less from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Wouldn't this go with Niv Mizzet, right? Niv Mizzet? Niv Mizzet has a powerful attack. What is he, like a 5? A 6? Is he a 6? Somebody throw him up on the screen. Is he a 6? Tell me down in the comments below. Because if he's a 6, man, you're getting 8. When this card attacks, you tap that Niv Mizzet, you get 8 if he's 6. If he's 5, you get 7. Who cares? 7. You get 7. Man, 99 card deck, 7% of your deck, 8% of your deck. You build that attack up. You maybe throw a card on the field that says double the attack. You play this, you play this with a card that has the ability to double the attack or something like that. Or heck, you even put equipments on this just to give it further attack. Just like give it a 10/10. This card's amazing. You get to cast spells off the top of your deck just for he's here. Go. I like this card quite a bit. I managed to snag a copy of the special pre-release version, and I also went ahead and got myself a playset. Now, what I wanted to do as a thank you so far to everybody who's been joining me today is I wanted to add a couple cards into the treasure chest. So I think for today, what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cards to the treasure chest. I hope you guys appreciate what I'm going to add here. Earthquake Dragon and Keldon Flamesage. I really do like these cards. I think they're a lot of fun. I made sure to grab an extra copy just so that I can throw them into the treasure chest for you guys. I'm adding the foil extended art copy of Earthquake Dragon. Again, this card is a 10/10. And the reason I bring that up, it does have Flample, so it's going to be doing a lot of excess damage too. Remember, well, it doesn't do excess damage because Trample carries over. Still, the freaking 10/10 hits like a bus. So that 10/10 can still pair with Keldon Flamesage. Not as a commander, but you could easily do a Tamir kind of color where you're doing blue-red for the spells and green for the power. But you could also do green spells. You could do Groll spells if you really wanted to. Green has a lot of access to battle manipulation, red straight damage. You can do a lot of fun with these cards together too. But as we just went over, Keldon Flamesage is basically tutor for your spells off the top of your deck when you get that power up high enough. So these are going in. Again, this is the pre-release version, so I hope you guys enjoy that as well. And I hope everybody liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I will get to them as I can. Stay tuned for the next video. I try to do at least 2 videos a week. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and until next time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It is how you join and be a member of the crew, and we are trying to get the subscription counter up because as we go up, we're going to hit 1,000. When we hit 1,000, one lucky viewer is going to get every card in the treasure chest. For a reminder of what's in the treasure chest, I'm going to do just a couple of cards here. But you can see there's a whole bunch in this treasure chest. But let's see here. We've got Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth in here. We have a specialty foil convention soul ring. Really nice artwork right there. And we have, let's see here, Bolus's Citadel. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it right for that one, just because I don't want to give away too much. Again, it is important that you guys know what cards are in this box. And if you'd like to know what all the cards are in the box, I recommend taking a look at previous videos, because in other videos, not only can you see every card that I've added to the box over time, but you actually might find that sometimes I do show every card in the box just as a catch-up for people who are just now joining the crew. So, again, until next time, guys, I want to thank you all for joining me here on TCG Pirate King. Again, that's me, and until next time, bye. Are they gone? Is it just us? Okay. For those of you who stayed to the very end, I wanted to show one more card is going into the treasure chest. We're going to add Fist of Suns. So keep mental note of that, because that is a really wonderful card. If you don't have it already, I do recommend that you try picking one up. It pairs very well with some of the new 5-color commanders. It says you may pay Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. It pairs very well with Timeless Lotus because the two together just say all your cards cost tap. Okay, guys, until next time. Oh, and if you saw this card being added to the box, write Wooburg down in the comment section below. That way I know who's actually paying attention to the treasure.